And then they introduced Don Fallis and Kyle Felcher in a skybox with a spotlight in the arena. Bear in mind, we haven't had a match yet. And then they went back in the back earlier today. Well, first they showed Jericho and Bandito on Collision or whatever it was, and they had just a classic match, according to Jericho. And he's speaking like a real person again in the back with Renee. And he's made a deal with Don Fallis, and Don and Kyle are walking out of the locker room that Brian Keith, the bounty hunter, is going to take out Will Ospreay tonight. So that's the deal. So again, it doesn't make Don look bad because he's a Weasley manager, but doesn't it make Jericho? Well, it makes Don look bad in terms of that he thinks that this could possibly happen. Brian Keith would take out Ospreay. But if Jericho's, this is the best he's got to. And then they go right into that match. We're 15 minutes into the show already, and we got Ospreay versus Brian Keith, the bounty hunter who was introduced at 189 pounds. It's the first time in my life I've ever felt sympathy for the bounty hunter. I hope the little fella doesn't get hurt. The fuck do you think? Who was the people that would collect bounties that heels would put on baby faces in years gone by? Abdullah the Butcher, Bruiser Brody, goddamn King Kong Bundy, whatever. But Brian Keith at 189 pounds, who's never won a match on this television program. But he's going to beat up the top babyface. Actually, he did beat up the top babyface. It took 12 minutes for Ospreay to beat him. I think he could. It might take Ospreay 6 or 7 minutes against a fucking 8th grader. I weighed 189 pounds in 8th grade. That's because of Mama Cornette's cooking. And then
the bounty hunter, Jim Cornette.
Well, there you go. Hey, I'm bigger. Right now. I weigh 191 pounds. I'm bigger than Brian Keith. And I got 6 inches on him. And I'm taller too.
Come on.
And then Ospreay jumped out of the ring and ran up the stairs, and Kyle ran down the stairs from the skybox, and they had a short fake fight in the stands that was broken up by security. So there you got that going on. Any comments, or should I move on?
Yeah, there's nothing really to add to that wonderful match.